This course is all about being very practical and concrete steps that you can take from resume and CV to building a LinkedIn profile and interviewing and more. But let's start with something really important actually, which is your own kind of sense of well-being and being positive. Being positive in going through a job search, which can be difficult, let's be honest here, that can be very difficult, is very important because it helps keep you going through your search and will help you get to the end where you get to be able to accept an offer is the idea of maybe a job that you're really looking forward to, maybe the job of your dreams, as they say. So let's just take a moment just to talk about some things that you can do and things I want you to think about to help you feel positive, and also some building blocks to help you through your journey. So first off, I would like you to think about that you're making a great change in your career and life, and soon. And I guess that's the key part, is it's not immediate, it's soon. Now how fast that happens as far as your job search and eventually landing a new job varies by person. And the whole idea of this course is to help you get a job very quickly and a better job very quickly. But it takes time, and some longer than others. But the key thing to take away is, if you look forward down at that light at the end of the tunnel, things are going to be better. Things are going to be much better for you in your life and in your career. So hold on to that thought as one thought, to just get started and get kind of going with you on that. Another way to look at it too is kind of see that there's both sides to this idea as well. So hiring employers, they really struggle to find great employees like you. They really do. When I'm working with employers and how to interview and how to do different things from some consulting and things I've done, what do they always say? We can't find great people. Now, I'm sure there's exceptions, and sure there's some application or some jobs that get thousands of applications, without a doubt. But even with that, it's still hard to find great people, and it takes a lot of time. And the cost of making a mistake for the employer is very costly, both in just time that it takes, but also, numerically or financially, if you have what they would call a bad hire, where they have to replace the person very quickly. Maybe they just don't work out and they leave on their own, or they end up being let go. And the cost of that, there's lots of different studies out there. Here's one from the U.S. Department of Labor, that the estimated cost is like 30% of that new hire's salary in lost income, lost cost, or real cost for that employer. So here's an example: $50,000 would be $15,000 at that 30%. So understand that you're all kind of in this together a little bit too, and that's why the process can seem like real long, and you may seem like you're going through a lot of hoops, because employers have a lot of cost around it as well. And they want you. They really do. They want you. They just don't know that yet. A lot of times it's just they don't know you, right? You haven't applied, or they haven't found you, or you haven't found them. And they really have jobs to fill, and they want great people, and you're a great person, and you just don't know yet. And once they learn about you, and you learn some of the techniques, and you apply some of them in the course, they're going to find you, they're going to learn about you, or when you apply, you're going to really stand out on top as far as the different types of applications. And when you go through the interview process, you're going to really stand out well, and they're going to really want you. And that's the key part, is at the end of all of this, at the very end, you have all the power. It may seem like you're powerless now. You're applying to thousands of job openings and nobody seems to call you back, and what's going on? And you might be at a point where, like, gosh, am I ever going to get a new job? Maybe I'm unemployed and I'm really struggling with that. Or I really hate my job I'm in now and I want to change my job, or I want to change careers. Understand, at the very end, you have all the power. And what I mean by that, at the very end, you're going to get a job offer. Hopefully you'll get multiple job offers is the idea. And then you can negotiate off those job offers. And you have that power from a negotiation standpoint, and you have that power to say yes or no. And that's where your power comes from. You can always decline a job offer. Remember, employers have a hard time finding great people and hiring great people and making good decisions around hiring great people. So when they find a great person, they really want them, especially when they've come to the end of this long process themselves. So in the end, you have all the power, and you can really kind of leverage that power in terms of better negotiation for better salary, better benefits, maybe better working conditions. And in the end, if it doesn't work out for you, you can say, you know what, thank you for your time, but I've decided to go somewhere else. You have all that power, and that's really, I hope to think, comforting, that in the end, that's what it ends up being. At the end, it's not them who have the power, it's you who have the power. And one last thing, just as far as feeling a little better about yourself, feeling a little bit better about this whole process, is think about your past successes on the job, or in life in general, but particularly think about it in the job. Think of those, those great performance reviews you've had, or that pat on the back you've had, or you completed the project well ahead of time, or you really worked well as a team, or maybe you led a team, or maybe you achieve some great measurable results, maybe in sales or reducing costs or building revenue or customer experience, or those great customers you worked with. Think of those great experiences and really get them in your mind, and so they're very tangible, because that'll make you feel better about, like, gosh, I really am good. And be the hero of your story, because you are the hero of your particular story. And you have heroic moments. You may think you don't, especially if you're kind of in a little down phase right now, but you really do. So reflect back on that and those successes, because you're going to be able to repeat those successes as we go through the practical aspects of the course around things like, when you're doing your job interview, you'll be able to share some of those successes in a good and maybe a humble manner, but in a good manner, so they'll, the potential employer for you will be excited and want to talk to you more about your successes. So be the hero of your story. And one great technique to actually use for that is to review your resume now, or CV. So we're going to really build that up, later in the course. You could skip right to that if that is a part that you need to do right away, is, let's say, a resume, or really update it. And you'll be putting in your resume things that are real measurable accomplishments, and some things that are in there that stand out more than just, this is my job title and where I worked at. You're going to build in a way that kind of helps tell your story as well. And when you're telling that story, you're telling the great parts of the story. Remember, it's a story about heroism. It's a story about you being the hero. So I find that when I review my resume, and other people I've talked to, it's the same thing. Once they review their resume and really think through it and build it, they look at it and they say, wow, I'm really good. I'm really good at some things, maybe many things, or certainly what I do. And that gives people a great feeling of hope and of past accomplishment that can lead to future accomplishments. So reviewing the resume can be a great tool to help you build back those memories, and then build those memories for future things like interviews. But the actually side effect of all that is you'll feel real good about yourself. Okay, so here's a little bit of positivity to start. I hope that helped. If not, we're just going to get right into some of the, the real, key parts to do here coming up next. But understand, being positive through that interview process can really make the difference. I know when employers are looking to hire people, they don't know about your job search. They don't know that you maybe have gone through a lot of applications, or maybe even through some or maybe many rejections. All they're looking for is, do I have a great candidate? And they're looking for candidates who are showing that positive attitude throughout the process. So be positive and be the hero of your story.